Hey folks, get ready for a winding and rambling ride. I recently went and grabbed my collection of Fleetway Sonic the Comics from my parents' garage, and found a little shoebox stuffed with some old cool stuff from back in the day, including some old toys. I'm not a collector of anything these days, but it was really interesting to see some of these toys that I've not seen for years and years. One particular piece caught my attention, but here's a few other interesting bits and bobs that turned up too. First, here's my only remnant of the set of old Sonic 3 tie-in McDonald's Happy Meal Sonic toys I collected back in 1994. This is quite relevant because Sonic toys have recently been back in McDonald's for the release of the Sonic 2 movie. Sonic has definitely seen better days though. I also dug up this duo, Metal Sonic and Splats, a Rabbit Badnik originally planned for Sonic 1 who didn't make it into the final game. These are two in a line of small figures put out by Tomy in 1994. If I remember correctly, these two came in blind bags. They're interesting because Metal Sonic has two completely differently coloured ears, which I think looks pretty cool. And Splats confused the heck out of me back in the day, because of course he didn't appear in any of the old games, and he made me convinced that I'd missed a hidden area in one of the old games, packed with these mysterious robots. Then we've got this angry looking Sonic. He's from one of the most bizarre line of Sonic related toys ever, the Hot Wheels Crash and Smash series. This Sonic originally came with a motorbike and a launcher pad. Move over, Shadow. Sonic is the original biker. This line also included British comic book icon Judge Dredd. The line of toys was released in 1995, so I actually think that this is a tie-in with the awful Judge Dredd movie starring Sylvester Stallone. The line also included a Street Shark, which was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rip-off show that was mildly popular in the mid-90s. There's also Stryker from Image Comics' Cyberforce comic book, which I have to admit I've never read before. And there's two original edgelord characters, Riptile and Skull Rider. Yeah, Sonic was presented as pretty edgy back in the day. This whole toy range is like some weird Rob Liefeld fever dream, but I love it. I wish that dystopian, grimdark Sonic would make a return. I also have this collection of Mario minifigures, though Mario is missing, no pun intended. These guys are quite rare and actually came as little prizes in Christmas crackers from a UK retailer. There was also a similar line of Sonic the Hedgehog Christmas crackers available too, featuring toys like this cute miscoloured Tails. I think they were only available for 1 year, so yeah, pretty rare. But anyway, on to the main event. The most intriguing relic I found was this little fella. Purple with a green hat and green overalls and what looks to be either a torch or a plunger in his hand, this guy looks like an obvious Sonic/Mario crossover bootleg toy. Although not coloured, he has Sonic's iconic sneakers, the white gloves that both Sonic and Mario share, and a C on his cap. When I dug this guy out, I had no recollection of who or what he was. All the other stuff in there was pretty easily identifiable, and I remembered them all except for him. My imagination got fired up and I went on a mission to find out exactly what this is, and if it's a legitimate thing or just some random bootleg. Naturally, I turned to Google and tried searching for Purple Hedgehog and Sonic Mario bootleg, but alas, it seemed hopeless. My final gambit was searching Hedgehog Plumber, and would you believe it, there he is, documented on sonicgear.org. According to them, this little guy is named Cynic, which explains the C, and he's part of a line of collectible alien toys. It was at this point that I inspected Cynic a little closer and noticed the faint copyright moulded into one of his spines. Copyright 7 Towns. Wish I'd spotted that earlier because googling 7 Towns gave me the definitive answer. Cynic is part of an old line of toys called P.E.T. Aliens, or P.E.T. Aliens, which stands for Pocket Size Extra Tiny. The toys actually started life as free gifts inside Kellogg's cereal boxes prior to Cynic's introduction, but the line was then expanded upon and sold in UK toy stores, at which point Sonic and a bunch of other aliens were introduced. The toys also came with little mini profile cards to give them more personality. Here is Sonic's. According to his profile, he arrived in London in 1994 during the video games boom. He decided to take up a career as a hedgehog plumber superstar at the Earthling's largest corporation, Nintega. This alien has attitude. So there you have it. Sonic is actually an alien, and he's not a bootleg but a parody item. I kinda wish I had more of these pet aliens because when I did the research I found out they're actually pretty cool. Each one has a backstory about crash landing somewhere on Earth and taking up some kind of job. There's one of the toys that's basically E.T. called Phony. He landed on a telephone repair truck. He's now a repairman, but still has trouble phoning home. Another looks like the Xenomorph from Alien, and for some reason, he became a crossing guard or lollipop man after landing on Earth. Don't know why. There's this set of lips coming out of a TV that I think is a reference to David Cronenberg's Videodrome horror movie, which would have flown right over pretty much every kid's head, I'm sure. And then there's this guy, a wrestler called Hedgehog, who basically has the old WWF logo on his vest. They really towed the copyright line, didn't they? I wonder if you get away with stuff like this nowadays. So basically, pet aliens were just another line of collectible little toys, just like monster wrestlers in my pocket and boglins. Anyway, would you believe there exists a couple of pieces of Sonic fan art out there already? Yes, enthusiastic pet alien fans have already graced the world with a couple of really cool pieces. They definitely capture Sonic's chewed. Well, there you go. After finding out Sonic's true identity, I threw the question out on my channel's community tab, asking if anyone knew who he was just out of interest. A couple did know, so well done if you were one of them. But I also got some really creative guesses, 3 of which I particularly enjoyed. They're all purple hedgehogs, so they're well worth talking about. Here's the honourable mentions. Here's the first. A lot of people pointed out the similarities between Sonic and Snick the Porcupine, a really cute Sonic parody character who I believe first appeared as a playable character in the Sage 2019 demo of Pizza Tower, which for those that don't know is an indie game very much inspired by Wario Land 4. Snick is meant to be a 1990s mascot character akin to Sonic, but decidedly less popular. At the start of the game, he's hanging out at the Snick Amateur Games Expo, but it appears to be deserted. Snick was also in a demo the next year, and again, the expo was deserted. The fun thing about Snick is he really bears a striking similarity to Sonic. They both have the purple fur colour and exaggerated spikiness, but Snick also has a Mario-style cap too, just like Sonic. They're both kind of Sonic Mario hybrid rip-offs. With his origins as a Sonic rip-off, I guess Snick has a similar backstory to Sonic 2. Here's the second honourable mention that a lot of people went with. Many suggested that Sonic fit the name Mr. Needlemouse, which is the name commonly assumed to have been a nickname bestowed on early Sonic designs by Yuji Naka and the rest of the Sonic 1 team. Sonic definitely has a sharpness that suits the nickname, but of course, Mr. Needlemouse remains an unfortunate mistranslation that Yuji Naka has denied was ever a name for Sonic. Sonic was annotated simply as Mr. Hedgehog in a couple of early sketches, and this got mistranslated as Mr. Needlemouse at some point in time and has become widely but erroneously touted as an early name for Sonic. Sonic doesn't look much like the Mr. Needlemouse sketches, but he's damn sharp and needly looking, so the name fits. As it turns out, Needlemouse is also a purple hedgehog who appears in the Needlemouse series, made by artist Shut Up Joseph. The Needlemouse series takes the form of a bunch of YouTube videos that have a kind of old school VHS footage look. They effectively act as an adaptation of the sonic.exe creepypasta, told through old footage of the original Sonic the Hedgehog. One copy of the game houses a vengeful spirit who's been imprisoned for 30 years in the game cartridge. The purple demonic Needlemouse figure who haunts the cartridge is becoming really popular in some parts of the fan community. I won't talk anymore about Needlemouse's true identity in case you want to watch the series, it's relatively recent. But one thing I will say is that Cynic is a good boy. He'd never be involved in any creepypasta shenanigans, he's innocent, good as gold. So the similarity here is mainly based on the colour, I guess. Third and finally, some jokingly guessed that Cynic was Coldsteel the Hedgehog, the edgiest Sonic original character out there who was spawned from one parody Twitter post back in 2013. Coldsteel was evidently created as a bit of a parody of characters like Shadow and Scourge, and to be fair, wasn't too far off the kind of ultra-serious edgelord OCs you'd see posted on the internet 15 years ago. Coldsteel and Cynic are both purple. They both look suitably edgy, and they're dripping with personality. For what it's worth, and while we're on the subject, although created as an ironic jab at Sonic OCs, Coldsteel has somehow remained unironically popular nearly 10 years after his creation. There's mountains of admittedly quite cool Coldsteel fan art to be found out there, and yes, there's plenty of mods that exist inserting Coldsteel into a bunch of Sonic games, and of course, into Friday Night Funkin'. I'm glad I own pretty much the closest thing there is to an official Coldsteel figurine, I guess. And there we have it, the mystery of the purple hedgehog solved, and it was a massive nostalgia trip for me. Thanks for joining me. What do you reckon? Who's your favourite purple hedgehog? Cynic, Coldsteel, or somebody else? If you've had a similar experience and dug up something totally awesome out of an old childhood knick-knack box, Sonic or otherwise, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories about the rarest and weirdest things in your collection. With that, thanks for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you next time.